But like I said, they're going to have a chance to walk down the Mavericks because I saw another report which fascinates me. And as long as I have been an NBA fan, I have never heard of anything like this. So we all know how banged up Dallas is. Their entire roster, it feels like, is on the IR right now. They got 8 healthy players. The thing is, they only have 8 healthy players for a little bit of a window right now because a few of those guys are on 2-way contracts, and that means they're only allowed to play in a certain number of NBA games this year. So going into last night, when they had lost that game, they have 14 games left in the season. Kessler Edwards has 3 games remaining that he's allowed to play in the NBA this season, and they can't sign him on an extension or anything like that until April 10th or sign him to a full contract. So he's got 3 more games, and then he's done. They're going to have to wait till April 10th. Kai Jones has 11 games left out of that 14. Brandon Williams has 6 games left out of that 14. So that means they have 8 players right now that are healthy that can play. In 3 games, that number is going to go down to 7. In 6 games, that number is going to go down to 6. And then for the final 3 games of the year, they potentially will only have 5 healthy players. And they can't sign anybody, and they can't bring anybody else in. So they would have to go into a game with 5 players. Now, there was reports out that Anthony Davis now is going to work out with the G League team, and then he might be coming back, and maybe they get a couple of their players back. Who knows? We're talking about Anthony Davis's health, and he had been better, but seems like he's slipping back in there. And who knows if anyone else stays healthy in that span. But they have the potential of having the final 3 games of the year, of having 5 healthy players, 5 guys that they can play on a roster. And now, according to ESPN and a bunch of sources in there, they might have to forfeit games. Have you ever heard of something like that? An NBA team having to forfeit a game because they don't have enough healthy bodies to even play in it. If one more guy gets hurt at 4, you can't start a game with 4 players. They let you, if a guy fouls out, you can continue playing with 4 or less if that's what you want. I mean, if the game is going to have more people foul out, but you have to have 5 to start. They're going to forfeit games. And they're still ahead of the Suns in the standings. That's the team that Phoenix is chasing, and they haven't caught them yet. Granted, they've closed the gap a little bit, but Phoenix keeps finding a way to lose games that they should win. And the Mavericks are scrappy right now for whatever reason with guys that most people have never heard of. But they're going to have a chance to literally forfeit games, and they are still in a position where they might make the playoffs. And the Suns have one of the highest payrolls in the league and still can't find a way to close that gap. Game and a half back. They're right there. The Suns have got to catch them. If the Suns don't make top 10, blow everything up. You can't make a top 10 seed and a team in front of you is forfeiting games. Everybody's got to go. You got to press full reboot. Whoever was in the building when they were deciding whether or not they wanted to trade for Bradley Beal and said, yeah, let's do that, those people have to go. Every last one of them. Because that's an abomination. You can't trade for a guy right now. You have a no trade clause. It's just so contract and cap restricting. And they are completely bogged down now by that deal for another 2 years. And they got no assets after that. So it's 2 years before you'll have a clean deck, and then you're just going to have to start building from scratch. It is not good. Not good. But let's maybe they catch fire. They still got the talent, even though I haven't seen it happen in 65 games. They got the talent. Maybe now's the time. We'll see.